This is a summary of Unit 2.1, the objective writing parallel and perpendicular line equation. So let's review some of the key things about parallel and perpendicular lines. So parallel lines, remember, have same slopes. So two equations that are parallel will have the same slopes. That's why they're parallel. They'll never cross because they have the same slopes. Perpendicular, I'm going to abbreviate, perpendicular have opposite reciprocal slopes. And what this means is, opposite means to change the sign. So if it's positive, the new line is going to be negative. If it's negative to begin with, the new line is going to be positive. And reciprocal means to flip the fraction. Okay? So remember, if you're writing in y equals mx plus b, you still have to have an m and a b. You still have to have a slope. You still have to have a y-intercept. You are now going to be in charge of finding the slope based off of whether the problem says parallel or perpendicular. And you have to make sure you read. Because if you don't read and you do the wrong equation, you're going to get the problem wrong. So let's go ahead and start. Write the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that is parallel. So I'm going to underline that to the line y equals x plus 4 and goes through the point 2, 2. So the slope of the line is 1. So that means a parallel line is also going to have a slope of 1. We are writing in y equals mx plus b. We already have our slope. It's 1. Now we're just finding our b, so we're just going to plug in using x and y. So we have 2 equals 1 times 2 plus b. And then we're going to solve for b, so we have 2 equals 2 plus b, subtract 2, and we get 0 equals b. So that means our line that's parallel that goes through that point is y equals x. And you can put plus 0, but we don't really need it. It's just y equals x, and that's our answer. It has the same slope, and our b is 0, so we don't have to put it. Next problem. Write the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that is parallel to the line y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4 and goes to the point 3, 1. So we have parallel. I'm going to underline that. Our slope is negative 2/3, which means our slope of our new line is also negative 2/3. Now we're going to use x and y to find our b when we're writing in y equals mx plus b form. So we have 1 equals negative 2/3 is our slope times 3, which is our x plus b. 1 equals negative, remember put that over 1, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, over 3 times 1 is 3, plus b. This simplifies to be 1 equals negative 2 plus b. Add 2 to both sides, and, whoops, switched pages. Add 2. No, I don't want to keep switching the page. Hold on. Okay. And we're adding 2 to both sides, which gives us 3 equals b. We have now our slope, which is negative 2/3, and our b, so we can write our answer, y equals negative 2/3 x plus 3. So that's parallel lines. That's when we're parallel. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. And then everything is the same as the other objective. It's just finding that new slope. This problem says write the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that is perpendicular to the line y equals negative 2x minus 4 and goes through the point 6, 4. So in this case, this is our slope is negative 2, so that our new slope has to be positive because it's changing the sign. So opposite. And then if I wrote negative 2 as a fraction, to flip it, it'd be 1 over 2. So that's my new slope is 1 over 2. Okay, now I have my slope. I'm going to use y equals mx plus b like always. I have my x and my y, and I'm going to find my b now. So I have 4 equals 1/2, which is my new slope, times 6 plus b. And we're going to solve for b. So we have 4 equals, put this over 1, 6 times 1 is 6, over 2 times 1 is 2, plus b. 6 divided by 2 is 3, plus b. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides, so we get 1 equals b. Now we have our slope and our y-intercept, so we can write our problem y equals 1/2 x plus 1. And that's our equation that's perpendicular. Double check your slopes. We have a -2 and a 1/2. Those are opposite reciprocal. One's negative, one's positive, and it's the fraction flipped. Let's go ahead and do another one. Write the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that is perpendicular to the line y equals 5/9 x minus 4 and goes through the point -5, 5. So perpendicular, which means we are going to, if I have 5/9, I'm going to change that to a negative and then flip the fraction, which is -9/5. Now that I have my slope, I'm now going to find my b, so I have to use y equals mx plus b, x and y, so I get 5 equals -9/5 times -5 plus b. Put this over 1 and we get 5 equals -9 times -5 is 45 over 5 times 1, which is 5 plus b. Simplify that fraction. 45 divided by 5 is 9 plus b. Subtract 9 from both sides and we get -4 equals b. So now we have y equals, we have our b, which is right here, and our slope, which is right there. So we get -9/5 x minus 4. And that's our line that is perpendicular. Now let's talk about what happens if we have horizontal and vertical lines. So in this problem, we have write the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that is perpendicular to the line y equals 3 and goes to the point 2, -4. So the very first thing I look at is y equals 3. It's just y equals in numbers, so I immediately think HOI because HOI has the y in it. So that means that if I'm perpendicular, my slope here is 0. So if you think about when you find slope of 0, you end up with 0/3. If I were to flip that, I would end up with 3/0, which then would be undefined. And then that means we are going to use VUX. And VUX says that our equation starts with x equals a number, and if we look at the ordered pair, the one that would be x would be 2. So that means that a line perpendicular to y equals 3 is x equals 2. Remember, perpendicular lines have to cross at a 90-degree angle. So if I have a horizontal line, a perpendicular line to that would be vertical. Think about an intersection in the road. You get 4 ways. So if you have a horizontal line, the only way to get an exact perpendicular line is to have a vertical line. And now you have an intersection in a road. Okay, let's try another one. Here we have write the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that is parallel to x equals -1 and goes to the point 3, -5. So I think about this, x equals, so I'm going to say I have VUX. Parallel means I have the same slope. So my same slope, I'm also going to use VUX. So I'm going to use x equals, and then if I look at my x, it's 3. So a line parallel to a vertical line of x equals -1 is going to be a line x equals 3. So a vertical line, a line parallel, would also have to be a vertical line. So we get x equals 3.